Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBet Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having a good Sunday. Welcome to our Sunday Stock Talk. Pretty simple approach. We go live every single Sunday at 6:30 p.m. If you ever want to join us, just make sure you subscribe to the channel. I hope that within this video you learned something new. And if you're a beginner, if you're new to the channel, please, we have this little live chat that should pop up on your right side of the screen. Just make sure that if you have any questions and if you're tuning on in live, I'd love to answer any questions that you might have, regardless if you're an absolute beginner and or an experienced trader. So let's go ahead and get started. What's going on, Diego? What's going on, Jose? What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday, everyone. So just a little heads up before we even start breaking down some of the stocks that you guys began to request. One of the things that I wanted to remind you is that obviously due to the holidays, it is going to be a shorter week, right? Normally leading up to the holidays, there tends to be less trading volume, right? Less people are actively and proactively trading. So please take that into consideration if you see that any stocks that you're potentially wanting to trade, if you see them, acting maybe a little bit different, if they're inconsistent, if the volume just isn't where it normally is, I want you to understand the reason why behind that. So please take that into consideration. You might want to be a little bit more selective this upcoming week, as the possibility for there to be really big plays is probably just not as high as maybe shortly after. So I'm very excited for the week nonetheless. I'm excited to trade live with the Learn Plan Profit Group. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So all right, here we go. So good evening. What's going on, Lethea? What's up? What's up? All right, so NVDA. Let's go ahead and break these down. So SQQQ is one that a lot of people have been asking about. So I just saw it be requested right now. One of the things, I'm all for ETFs, right? One of the things that you need to understand is that SQQQ is an ETF that normally sells off as the market goes up, right? It's a consistently bearish stock, but if you begin to see that the market begins to sell off and go into the red, then you'll see SQQQ go up. The thing that I always like to remind our traders, especially our beginner traders, is how risky it can be by you thinking that SQQQ is a stock that you want to hold for a very long period of time. Swing trading SQQQ is very risky because more often than not it's bearish. So please just take that into consideration. We have people right now asking about TQQQ. I'm personally paying attention to TQQQ. I wouldn't say that it's a buy as of right now. TQQQ goes up when the market goes up. So the great thing about this is that the market tends to be very, very bullish. So if you look at TQQQ on the 1-day chart, where you can see that for the past year, it's done very, very well, indicating signs of an uptrend. It's a very bullish ETF. If you don't like trading a triple leverage ETF, then just stay away from it, right? But from where we're at right now, if we were to make a full recovery to previous highs, that's about a 22% ROI, which I personally find to be very attractive. I like that the direction's in our favor. I like that it's consistently bullish. And most importantly right now, it's at a potential support level. I view it to be at a decent price, and it only makes sense to buy more if it actually begins to indicate signs of a resistance, of a support level. You can see that its previous resistance level has been right around 170 a share, and I can draw the little resistance line for you. But although the goal might be to sell at 183, you just have to also be aware of the previous resistance price level of where it tends to get most likely, or most often rejected at, and that's right around 170. So although the goal might be 183, again, just know that there is a resistance level. So if you decide to lock in profits and sell early, there's never any hard feelings with that. Again, at the end of the day, please make sure that you do your part in looking out for your future self, regardless of who it is or what it is that they're telling you to buy and sell. You should always have your future self's best interest in mind. So all right, so I'm holding half till 170. I like that TC. So I'm very excited to follow up with it, right? So let's go ahead and break some more down. So look at Amazon back in the 2000. Okay, so we'll check out Amazon. Amazon's a little bit more on the oversold side, touching its support level right around 3,300 right now. It's at 3,400. I like Amazon at the current price point that it's at. One of the things that I love to talk about is intention. If your intention is to make money right now, Amazon probably is not going to be the stock that you want to trade, right? If anything, it's more of one that you buy the dip on, and because it's Amazon and it's such a bullish and quality company that eventually over time it does make a recovery, and also it does not offer the greatest return. The thing about Amazon is that it's such a quality company and it's so consistent that when it does pull back like right now, and then when the market does recover, with a perfect trade that would offer about a 10% ROI. 10% in today's terms isn't anything crazy, but again, you need to learn how to walk before you run. So if you are someone that simply just wants to test the waters with buying the dip, maybe short-term swing trading, and you like Amazon, I'm all for it. You don't need to be trading risky stocks, right? Other people might be trading them. Yeah, they might be making maybe a little bit more money, right? But at the end of the day, like, I want you to feel comfortable with what you're choosing to trade. And if that means that you're trading Amazon to kind of get your feet wet, to learn the basics because it's a slower moving stock, then why not, right? Why not focus on that and focus on what actually makes sense? So can you talk about Lucid? Let's go ahead and talk about Lucid Motors, LCID. So again, if you guys want me to break down any stock, just make sure you comment it in the live chat. I'd be more than happy to break it down, and I hope that you can consider dropping a thumbs up, of course, if you feel like we earned it. Lucid Motors, which is LCID. I'm not the biggest fan of Lucid. My opinion means absolutely nothing about this. The reason I say that I'm not the biggest fan is that I think that Lucid Motors is a very hyped up stock. You can say whatever it is that you want. I just, oh, it's a stock for the future, right? Or it's Tesla's direct competitor. The way that it's trading, when it went from $22 all the way to highs of $60, and then it dropped all the way down to $30, I just want to remind you that if all you're thinking about is how much money you can make, I think that's great to take that into consideration, but you should never forget also the obvious of the risk involved. Oh, some people might say Lucid isn't risky. Well, Lucid went from $61 all the way down to $36. That's losing nearly 50% of its value in just about 2 weeks. So if you don't view that to be risky, I guess we just see risk in different ways. But I do understand why people are paying attention to it right now. It did pull back quite a bit. There's potential for it to recover, and obviously just based off of previous resistance levels at around 55, that's a 35% return. I would view Lucid Motors to be a high risk, high reward type of swing trade. I have my alert set here because we have a lot of people with the Learn Plan Profit that pay attention to Lucid. My job is to remove my opinion about what I think about the company, and if Lucid begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, then guess what? I'll talk about it, maybe I'll trade it, but I always take into consideration that it's a risky play. It's not something that I brainwash myself thinking that it's going to continue to go up. I don't hesitate to lock in profits. I don't hesitate to manage my risk when I know something is riskier than the rest. So I think that Lucid is maybe a stock worth looking into. Set your alerts for the break above $40, and I would also set the alert for the break above, leading up to it, right? 48 and then around 54. Those tend to be pretty significant price points. So once we break above the moving average, at least it's indicating signs of an uptrend. If you're asking the question, is Lucid a good stock to buy right now? I wouldn't say it is, because it's not indicating signs of growth. You're not missing out on anything by not being already invested in Lucid Motors, but that's just my opinion. So Rivian, what's your thoughts on that? So again, if you think Rivian's a little bit different, but wait, is it this? Yeah, okay. Rivian, I also view to be very, very overvalued. And the reason why is that Rivian is an IPO, right? I talked about it when it was hitting highs of 150, 160. I made a video talking about why I do not like to encourage beginner traders to trade IPOs. They tend to become very hyped up, almost like every IPO, and then shortly after, they begin to correct themselves to their true value. We see them go from 170, 180, all the way down to $90, right? The volatility is insane when there's a recent IPO, and it's not just on an EV IPO, but just an IPO, And then again, another factor is that it's an EV company that, of course, is, I don't want to call it a Tesla copycat, but that's what essentially every EV company tries to compare themselves to, the direct competitor of Tesla. So when I hear anyone talk about them being the direct competitor of Tesla, right away I go and begin to think about this company is reaching, this company is overvalued, especially at these overbought levels. And I'm really happy to see that now, again, its true value is somewhat showing. Do I think that Rivian might make a good trade? Yeah, I could see why people might buy it at lows of 97 and maybe try to sell it at, at the previous resistance level of 120. But this is not something that I would feel comfortable holding, right? It has not identified or set its true support level. It's not like it's super consistent in the way that it trades. Rivian is a very new stock, and it takes time for it to establish the way that it trades, its support level, its bottom, its top, and then, at least offer somewhat of a consistent direction. And I just, right now with Rivian, I'm not very sold on the idea that, it's something that looks very promising. If anything, I still think it's overvalued. I do think that it might have a couple rallies, returning back to 118 and then dropping back down, which is why I think it could make sense to day trade Rivian if it's bullish on the day, but I wouldn't necessarily feel very comfortable holding a lot of Rivian stock overnight, knowing that it still is trying to establish its true value. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like not even so much of it being an EV company, but much more of, it's a stock that just recently IPO'd. So please take that into consideration before going all in. So here we go. Let's go ahead and break down the next one. Let's see what else we have here. Alrighty, so we got Microsoft, we got ATEC. Okay, let's go ahead and break those down. So Microsoft is MSFT. I like Microsoft myself. Some of you guys might agree, some of you guys might not. Again, I have a specific way that I like to trade. My way, I'm not here to say is the best way. I like to focus on quality companies, companies that grow in value over time. I feel like it makes it easier for you to make mistakes. I'm not a perfect trader. I'm sure you're not either. And if you have the direction of a stock that's bullish in your favor, it makes it a little bit easier to still come out on top and make a profit, right? And that's exactly how I see Microsoft. It recently pulled on back. It's testing previous support levels. I would set an alert for the break above EMA right around 328, but from where we're at right now, based off of previous highs, that would be about a 7% return. Again, Microsoft is not a very crazy, volatile, high risk, high reward type of stock, but it's consistent, it's bullish, and as of right now, it's cheap. So, which is one of the reasons that I don't mind talking about it. What was it? ATEC? Was that the stock that kept getting spammed? Is that it? ATEC, yeah. Right away, I can tell that this has really low volume. Again, I have a really big focus on direction, and the direction of this stock is consistently bearish. It's selling off, it's making lower highs and lower lows. If I were to ask you, hey, well, ATEC was a cheap stock, back in August. Why didn't you buy the dip then, right? Or why am I going to buy the dip now? It was cheap back then, it was cheap before that, but it's still selling off. And you can see, again, we have a really big focus within our Learn, Plan, Profit group, and it's all about direction. If the stock is not indicating signs of growth, then you getting or going into a position while it's still selling off is considered of higher risk because the direction is not in your favor. And you can see this consistent channel of, regardless of the indicators that I use, all you need to pay attention to is that ATEC is consistently selling off and it's losing value almost since the beginning of the year, ever since March, right? It's been selling off, making lower highs, lower lows, which is why I personally do not find it to be attractive. It's not to say that it can't make a recovery, it's just that it hasn't proven itself almost in the past year. So because of that, I would have to say that I would like to stay away from it. So hey Ricky, I was wondering if you would do a Christmas discount. Yeah, I mean, we have people messaging me all the time, always asking for a discount for Learn, Plan, Profit 2.0. So if you guys are unaware, I trade live every morning with the Learn Plan Profit group. They're the only group that I work with on a daily basis. There's no other group. I offer no other service. It's an all-inclusive. We just updated the course, so that's why it's called Learn Plan Profit 2.0. So it was all updated mid to late 2021, and we're always open to offering you a discount. We offer military discounts. We offer student discounts. So any discount that you want, even because of it being the holiday. I hope that you know that it's super easy to get in contact with me. You guys can refresh the screen, and it's actually linked in the description. You can message me on Instagram. So if you have an Instagram, message me, ask me for a discount. I hope that you're never, I'm always someone that likes to focus on deals. I like to encourage people to focus on deals. So if you're ever wanting to join my team and you would like to work with me on a closer basis, I hope that, again, you never hesitate to ask for a discount if that's what it is that you're looking for. So again, just make sure you message me on Instagram, and we can talk there. So, all right, let's go ahead and break down the next one. So let's talk about Tesla. I like this one. So a lot of people were asking me. Some of you guys were aware that I was shorting Tesla. Some people are asking me, am I still shorting Tesla? Ricky, is Tesla crashed? At the end of the day, no one knows, right? Tesla is like one of the most volatile, billion-dollar companies. It's almost $1 trillion company, if I'm not mistaken. It was $1 trillion company, but not anymore. And one of the things that I wanted to show you is that I recently decided to buy the dip on Tesla. If you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, you would have seen it during my live trading session. But my average purchase price on Tesla is $9.29. So I'm all for shorting a stock when it makes sense. But when it's pulled back enough, I took a 30% position in Tesla. So again, I normally trade with about $100,000. This is about a $30,000 position. I view Tesla to be cheap, but just know that the direction's not in our favor right now. So I'm telling you this, even with myself being invested. I would not buy Tesla right now because it's before confirmation. I'm okay with taking on the risk, but I know that there's a lot of beginner traders that are watching us. I don't need you to take on that risk. I don't need you guys to copy what it is that I'm doing. Tesla can get even cheaper. Tesla can continue to sell off. It can drop below 930. It can drop below 900, right? But I'm okay with taking a fraction of what I'm trading with right now, right? So I have all my alerts set. If Tesla begins to trade above the EMA line on the 4-hour time frame, if it begins to indicate signs of a recovery, if the market begins to indicate signs of a recovery, then that's when I can really step on the gas and go from a $30,000 position size to a $100,000 position size, and then begin to average up. People always love to ask me, when does it make sense to add more to your position size? When it's indicating signs of growth, right? So based off of previous resistance levels, a more realistic resistance for me on Tesla is right around 1,150. Yes, sometimes it goes above, sometimes it goes below, but I feel like 1,150 is a very realistic resistance level. So from where we're at right now and we break above EMA, I can average up, let it run up, and then if we experience a resistance level right around 1,150, I can begin to lock in profits without hesitation. To the moving average, that's about a 15% return. To about 1,160, that's about a 25% return. I like Tesla. It's why I decided to buy the dip on it. But it's not easy to say that it's going to recover anytime soon, which is why I took a fraction of a position in Tesla. Just in case it does, then I can begin to step on the gas. So BAC, so that's Bank of America, right? So Bank of America, let's go ahead and break this one down. Let's look at this on the year chart. Yeah, I actually really like this. So I'm going to add this to my oversold watches. I have to say that out of all the stocks we've broken down so far today, this has to be one of my favorite ones because first off, right, I like explaining why I find something attractive, right? So why do I find BAC to be attractive? I like its direction. This is for the past year. I like how bullish it is. It indicates signs of growth. It's showing signs of increase in value. And that's exactly what I want to happen when I put money into it, right? So its history and track record is there. From where we're at right now to previous highs, that offers about a 10% return. So it's not super huge margins, but it's something, right? And it's so consistent, so it's almost a safer play. And now we just need to begin to trade above the EMA line. So I'm going to set the alert there. If Bank of America begins to trade above that $45 price point, my trading platform will alert me. I can follow up with it and then make the trade decision if I want to go into it, if I want to average up into it, and how to scale into it there. But as of right now, it's at a potential support level. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. So it's really allow the opportunity to present itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's go ahead and break down about 3 more different stocks, and then we can go from there. So 3 more. So we got NVIDIA. We haven't broken that one down in a while. So NVDA. Let's go ahead and break that one down. I appreciate your time. I hope that we earned a thumbs up in this video. So NVIDIA was a really bullish stock for a short period of time. It is very bullish nonetheless, right? It's very bullish, very consistent, but it aggressively shot up to highs of 346, right? Right now it's down to around 280. It is oversold looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, but look at previous support levels and look at the moving average, right? You have to understand that it really gapped up. So if we break below, do you guys see this? If we break below 280, just know that we can easily begin to drop right back down to 240, and then from there, right back down to around that 210 price point. So I have my alert set here. I've already been following up with NVIDIA, but it doesn't mean that it has to recover right away. That's just in case it does. I just would hate for someone to buy the dip right now, and then it just continues to dip. Just know that the cheap can get cheaper. It's great to see how bullish it was, but now we need to ask ourselves, before you decide to buy the dip on anything, asking yourself that simple question: is this actually indicating signs of growth? So, and then with NVIDIA, the simple answer right now would be no. So, thoughts on AFRM? Yeah, so AFRM was a pretty popular stock, right? It hit highs of 176. Right now, testing support levels. It originally shot up from lows of 60. Ever since its peak, it's been on a consistent descending pattern. I would not overcomplicate this. It has not been able to break above this EMA line ever since it broke below, right? So with that being said, yes, we're at a potential support level. If you are so certain that this stock is going to recover, I challenge you to set an alert and wait for confirmation. You will save yourself so many unfortunate trades, and you waste the day trades by trying to get in early, and then it just gets rejected. Keep it simple, set your alerts, and follow up with it when it's indicating signs of growth. Allow these opportunities to present themselves to you. I mean, you still need to take time to build your watch list, to set alerts, but when it comes down to the action of taking a trade, again, it's keeping it simple. That can save you a lot of money on the long run. So let's go ahead and do one last one. Let's do 2 more. So we got Boot. So I appreciate that. So we got Boot and then PayPal. Let's go ahead and break these down. So thank you guys for your patience with that one. So Boot Barn, I like this one. I actually really like it. I love how bullish it is. I love how consistent it is. I'm going to add this to my oversold watch list. So that made my list for sure. I like how oversold it is. It looks cheap, but like we know, the cheap can get cheaper. I just noticed that it has pretty low volume. So I would have to look a little bit more into that. But from where we're at right now, if it does find its support level based off previous highs, right around 134, that's about nearly a 20% ROI. That's great, but as of right now, it's not indicating signs of growth. It's still selling off. So let's set that effective alert. And again, what are we going to do? We're going to keep things simple. If you've been overcomplicating your trading, if you've been really struggling in experiencing or struggling with your patience and waiting for confirmation, I challenge you to set alerts and keep it simple. Allow the opportunity to present itself. Stop always trying to, chase the next big runner. It's more often than not, you end up just putting yourself in an even worse position. PayPal is also one that I've been paying attention to for some while. And again, I have money in PayPal, and I'm telling you this as someone that has money in PayPal. I would not buy PayPal if I were you. If you're an absolute beginner and you're trying to make money right now, PayPal is just not it. I'm okay with saying that because I understand my intention. I don't need PayPal to recover right away, and if anything, it's been selling off and it hasn't really been indicating signs of a recovery. But it doesn't mean that it can't in the future, right? Which is why I'm okay with holding it right now at the price level it's at. I just don't want you to think that just because I'm invested in something that you should as well. I hate when other people encourage others to do what they're doing, even if the principles are not there, right? Right now, PayPal is not indicating signs of growth. It's not making higher highs. It's selling off and or trying to establish its support level. I want to save you money. I want to save you time. I want to save you stress. I don't want you to buy the dip on a stock and then it either keeps dipping or it consolidates here for 2 weeks and it does nothing. That does you no good. I want to look out for you, and I want you to look out for yourself. So make sure you always ask yourself that simple question. Right before you're about to buy a stock, ask yourself, am I missing out right now on money to be made by not being invested in the stock right now? And it's very simple to see. If the stock has been selling off for the past couple of days or past couple of weeks, then no, you haven't been missing out on anything. If anything, it's been saving you money not being invested. But if the stock begins to recover, if it begins to indicate signs of growth, then your answer would be yes, I am missing out on something because PayPal is recovering. But that's just not the case right now for PayPal. So yeah, I mean, that's really just it. It looks like there's actually quite a bit of you that are still here asking for me to break down a couple different stocks. I'll have to look what's in the description. I'm pretty sure the first link, if I'm not mistaken, is for our Learn Plan Profit group. So that's if you want to be able to watch me trade live every morning. Take 1 or 2 minutes and look into that. The second link should be my Instagram. You guys can refresh it and make sure that you message me any questions there. And then the third link should be our shop tech bud. So anything trading related when it comes down to your mouse pads, your wall art, anything for your office, for your trading setup, we got you covered there. One of the things that I did forget to post is our free Facebook group. So I know a lot of you guys still might have questions. If you're part of our Learn Plan Profit group or part of our TechBud Solutions group, please just in the main chat tag me and ask me to break down whatever stock it is that you want me to break down, and I would be more than happy to do so. So that will just be an extension from this Sunday stock talk. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that it earned a thumbs up in this video. Please consider subscribing if you guys haven't done so already. And again, if you're an absolute beginner, if you have experience, I answer all of your questions. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, if you're watching this live stream and it's the first live stream you've ever watched and you want to ask me a question, it's the second link in the description. It's my Instagram. I encourage you to ask me any question that you might have, especially if you're looking for a discount for LPP. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope and wish you guys an amazing rest of your Sunday. I'll see you Learn Plan Profit traders tomorrow at Market Open for our live trading session. But until then, like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.